Tom here, Flipanythingusa. I'm doing a follow-up, and this is to the the other day I posted a millionaire pity party. I was a little upset because I had a deal get away, and then teachable forking moment, real estate tips, mentoring by Tom. That was my other one. Well, today's the good story, right? Remember I told you I might be getting back with you as early as 10 a.m.? It took all day, but I got it back. I got it back. I was talking about being relentless. I had a deal get taken away from me. I explained why. If you don't know, watch Teachable Forking Moment, the one before this. Basically, I got my deal taken from me because I got outbid, and they should have countered anyways. And like I said, even though the deal got taken away from me, I never give up. And I always say, if you're not number one, always try to be number two, waiting in the wings to get in there and swoop in if number one does something wrong. Well, number one, although they took the deal from me in the beginning by offering a little bit more, what they didn't do is they didn't mean what they say. And if you don't mean what you say, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. That's how it works. So what happened was, what I was explaining to you the other day is that it turned out the broker I was dealing with, or the listing agent, had somebody else that was working through him, where I already kind of figured I was going to get this thing no matter what, because even if another offer came in from the outside, the seller would net the same if they just countered me back. Well, they didn't counter me back. Somebody came in with what I thought was a full offer, but it wasn't. But it was an offer that was a little bit better than mine, but it came through that same broker, or so there was no extra broker, and there wasn't an outside broker, so he was able to discount his commission a little bit. If you're first new to the channel or new to real estate, agents will oftentimes, on average, they'll take a listing for 6%, and then they'll say, well, if we sell it in-house or in-office, we'll take off 3%, or they'll take off 2%, that sort of thing. And that's what the case was on this one. So anyways, like I was saying, so even though I lost the deal, even though I was told I didn't get it, I called back the next day. And of course, it's on my phone, but basically what I did is I texted the agent. I said, hey, I still want this property, and I'll close it next week in case the current buyer, if he plays games or stumbles. And I've done this a number of times, and a number of times this has worked out for me. And you know what? It's a 50-50 shot, doesn't hurt. And this is what I talk about, being relentless and trying, even though most times your efforts are going to be for nothing. I mean, but the way you win more than lose is you always try. You always try harder than everybody else. And that's what I did. So I wrote him and said I wanted it, and I thought it was the same day, but it was actually the next day in the evening. He wrote me and he said, hey, I'm paraphrasing, but basically he said, they're stumbling. They're starting to play games. They didn't deposit their check into escrow, and they said they will, but they also said they'd like the price to be lowered. And I got into that yesterday. I was kind of leading the agent a little bit, and I said, well, look, I don't want to be used as what pushes them over the line to do the right thing. So I said, tell them, just act like it's probably no problem, but they just need to go ahead and send you a signed document that says that they're going to nullify the agreement, but they're willing to pay a lesser amount, because that's what they were trying to get. And I don't even know that they did that or not, but he got them blown out. They're out, and I think that's how it happened. And so he called me and he said, Tom, okay, he goes, they're out. And I said, okay. I go, listen, I want you to consider this deal pending, okay, because we had to wait till the end of the day. The person that had to sign the deal was at work all day, and there was no chance for her to come in until 4:30, 5:30 this evening. Actually, she was running an hour late, so it was a little later. But anyway, so I got it. I got it signed. It's mine. I even picked up about 5 extra days instead of having to close in 7 days. It looks like I got till the 27th, so I got 11 days. Only because the agent was leaving town, but I actually am too. I have something to attend to in California, so I'll be leaving town. Anyways, oops, let me see here. All right, yep, thanks, engineer. But that was really, if you didn't catch that video yesterday, it's really important that you guys understand kind of what was going on, because if I hadn't done what I've done, I wouldn't be having this deal. And let me tell you what the difference is. I offered $210 on something that it was already worth more than $250. They're asking $250. I don't know why. Maybe it didn't hit the MLS quick enough, but it was worth more than the $250 that we were already asking. And I was saying that I was getting there to go to bid on this thing, but I was feeling sick, and I pushed it back a day. Or actually, I didn't push it back. I just forgot. I forgot, and I didn't go there. And then the next day, I got there, and they said, "Hey, they just lowered it another $25,000." I said, I walked in the door. I didn't even walk down the hall. I could see the kitchen, and I could see the open area of the living room. When I walked in, I said, "I'll take it." I said, "I'll take it." And I go, "But I'll give you $210 for it." And I wasn't still saying full price. I said $210. And then I let them feel like they could, maybe come up a little bit on me, but without making them feel like I was too soft. Anyways, I gambled. I kind of lost because somebody else came in and just took it from me. But then I recouped it by being relentless and insisting that, they call me if they stumble. They stumbled, I got it back. And so instead of $210, I got it for $218, right? And, the difference to me is I'll make $8,000 less, but I'll probably still make 40,000, maybe 40, maybe 50, maybe 50,000. But it was still a good deal. I just can't let it go. I got money sitting, burning a hole in my pocket. And I actually feel very strongly, I'm not much of a speculator, but I actually believe there's some reasons to think these values will go up quite a bit in this next year, just because I'm buying it right. I'm already buying it under, right? Remember, I always say your hedge, when you can buy something, when you buy property under market, substantially under market, you actually have a little bit of leeway. You can actually play speculator a little bit, right? You can kind of wait. And if things start to go down, you just get rid of it and you'll make money. But you can kind of hang on to it for a little while, because it's not like you cut it so close. There's such a fat margin of profit that if the values start going up, you can kind of just maybe sit tight and let them watch them, just watch them and watch them close, and you got the benefit of hanging on. So, hey, before I forget, be sure to write me, Tom at Flipanythingusa, because I'm going to give away an app. I'm kind of in the app business right now, in several different areas. But I'm making something that's very, very cool. I've already got it done for Android. I'm going to give 1,000 of them away to my subscribers. And but you just got to write me at Tom at Flipanythingusa. Tom at Flipanythingusa. And if you're new to the channel, man, just ask a question, whatever you want to do. I've been buying and selling real estate successfully, making many, many millions since I was 19 years old. I've owned apartment buildings, commercial buildings, industrial buildings. I forget. I can't even remember everything that I have owned, to be honest. But I've done just about every kind of deal you can imagine, and I've had probably every kind of heartbreak, and I've made every mistake there is, and I learned from them all. And I even talk about one that I kind of a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of an oversight I made here the other day. And but you know what? I kind of do it live. It's kind of rough. But I show you guys how I do it, as I'm going through it. You know what? The ink still hasn't dried on this paper I just signed. I try to share it with you as quick as it happens, because I want you to know it's real. There's so many, people that are, trying to sell courses and seminars and get you to spend money that you don't really need to spend. And I'm not opposed to you spending a little money, a couple $100s on somebody's books and, some organized material, if that's what they have. That can be worth it. But this idea of spending thousands of dollars on somebody, or giving, this fan mail, the more I hear about them, the less I like about them. Because from what I understand, I see at these seminars, they're, he's kind of pushing for, or he or his organization or the people that work for him, whatever. My understanding, I don't know for fact, I've never been to one, but I hear enough bad stuff that they're basically, they say it's a free seminar, but you go in, it isn't free. They're trying to shake you down for $1,500, and then they're trying to shake you down for $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 for a couple, of what I've heard. And you know what? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You know, and I'm telling you right now, all the information you need to get rich in real estate, you can learn anything on YouTube, okay? There's everything you need to know. You know, there's things that I need to know about certain apps and or certain things that I want to know about. You know, I've got pretty, you know, broad interest. There's nothing I can't learn from YouTube. You can find so much information, so relevant to exactly what you want to do. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to be an investor, if you come from modest means, I mean, I come from zero, you know, and you know, and I can do very, very big deals. I'm a substantially financial guy now, and you know, I know you can do it. Anybody can, and so don't waste your money. Save your money. If you got 10 grand, that's money. That's power. That's seed capital to get that ball rolling. You know, and I don't care if you're turning dumpy trailers or cars, or, I mean, start with something. Start with something. Because cash just sitting there is worth nothing. Even in the bank, it's worth nothing. It makes, what, 1% interest if you're lucky? It's not worth it. And so it's very important that you take that money and you utilize it and you leverage it when you can. And that's the beauty of real estate. And I'll tell you real in simple terms. Well, number one, real estate is the quickest way to get rich, because it is like the number one thing that is so valuable that you can leverage with very little money. You can tie up millions of dollars in real estate. And if you're tying it up and you have the right to buy it and it's worth a lot of money, you're going to make a percentage of that, a very large percentage of that if you do it right. And there's nothing else that will allow you to do that. There's nothing else out there. I mean, you can't do it with cars. You can't do it with, I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, there's nothing else out there like it. And the best part about it is it doesn't matter if you're flat broke. The difference is right here. It's the brains, right? It's just your brain. Because the more knowledge you have about an area, that's your advantage over everyone else, is knowing a deal when you see one. It's like when I walked into the living room of this house yesterday, I just said, I'll take it. I didn't have to walk down the hallway. I know what the bedrooms are. I know I'm going to see 4 walls and a light. You know, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. You know, I've bought houses that I've never even walked into. Drove by them. You know, the neighborhood, you know, was kind of afraid that I had neighborhoods that were kind of against me because they didn't like the fact that I was renting out homes, like I'm a terrible guy. But so I've actually bought homes without even walking into them, just because I didn't want anybody to see me walk into the door. So and I've never regretted any of those purchases. I've done very, very well. So anybody got any questions, man? Just fire away. I don't care. And like I say, man, never be afraid of asking a question, no matter, even if you feel like it might be a dumb question, or you feel like, don't be afraid. Just, man, we're like family here, so it's not a problem. You know, I tell my boys and my girls in college now, but my boys particularly, I say, man, don't be embarrassed if you feel like you got a dumb question. If you don't understand, you're just harming yourself to walk away or to sit here and watch me talk and have something go over your head. Man, I'm not doing my job. I want to articulate to you in the most clearest, easy terms so you can understand what I'm saying. And I think I speak pretty plainly, but it's so important to me that you understand. So don't be embarrassed. If there's something you want to know, there are no dumb questions, right? There's no dumb questions, because what would be dumb is if you let something go by, if you miss something. That would be dumb, okay? So, you know, so if anybody's got a question, man, let's go. I can talk a little bit. My batteries were dead, otherwise we'd be doing this in front of my swimming pool. It'd be a poolside chat right now. But the batteries are dead on my phone, the batteries are dead on my laptop, so we're plugged in right now, so we're good. The only thing that's wearing down right now is me. I'm getting tired. It's been a long day, and I'm having a little I'm having a little refreshment, and it's time to unwind a little. So, who's got anything going, man? Is anybody buying anything? What's the goals? What are your goals out there? What are your goals? Okay, so the question I got here is, do I always get contractors, or do I do the repairs on property myself? Well, I got a construction background, so I can buy. I mean, I can fix anything, but I don't always have time to, obviously, and I have a crew too, and you know, and between me and my whole crew, we really got a lot of talent there, to be honest, but. Sometimes it's just not possible. I got too much property, you know. So it's one thing to go in and pound a nail in here and there, or do a patchwork here, or paint a wall, you know, tear out something, whatever. But for the most part, you know, I mean, if I'm gonna drywall or retexture or re-stucco or something like that, man, I want a crew. I just want somebody, you know, get a figure and say, okay, man, you go at it. You go at that trade, you go at that trade. You know, plumbing and stuff, always have the plumbers do that. AC guys, always have the AC guys do that. You know, it's mostly, you know, you know, I'm a builder. I built some pretty big properties. I haven't been building much in many years, actually, really, because I just like to buy. I just like to buy existing structures. To be honest, I can buy existing structures less than I can build them for, and so that just makes sense for me. So I know I don't always use contractors, but I do use them a lot. Let's see, engineer. You know, I bought a house under FHA. Yep, remember you. So engineer 23, he bought a house for 300 grand, and I think he got it for 3.5% down through FHA. Sounds like a pretty good leverage deal. That's nice. Well, man, but engineer, you're asking me a question I can't answer. What would I say is the ideal price tag to sell? You know, just start at 5-10% under market. What you determine the market. Just start 5% under or 5% over. You know, either going to get a bid. If you're just a little bit over, they'll make an offer and bring it down. If you start a little bit under market, that'll get more attention, because now it's when a lot of people, believe me, you can write 299 and people will contact you that won't contact you if you write 305, because in their mind, oh, we can't go into the 300s. We can't go into the 300s. Well, I mean, really, what's the difference between 299 and 300? So, not much. And so, what I would say is just figure out what you think it's worth. Let me tell you what, if you think it's worth $400,000, list it for $399 or $395 or something like that, or $390, and you know, it'll bid up, or you know what I mean. You got to make usually some sort of concessions, anyways. But you know, you'll make a deal. That's what I do, anyways. Now I'm actually on this one of these ones I'm going to start on. I don't want to lose track of the market, and it's kind of gone crazy in some ways around here. So I may go ahead and start high. I may start 700,000 on that house that I think's worth about 500. But you know what? I can go down. I can't go up if I list it. So all right, got another one here from High Road. I keep saying Highland Hedge. It's High Road Hedge. Hey Tom, I'm heading to Florida and plan on buying land for agriculture and business. Wow. What steps would you take to get the best deal? You know, dude, just how I always do it. You know, I mean, you got to kind of cover everything. You know, you can talk to some real estate agents out there, look in Craigslist out there. Some people try to sell for sale by owner in Craigslist. So, you know, you want to go into that local area that's in Craigslist, because you might miss somebody if you don't. And, you know, I don't know exactly what your plans are, but, you know, when you say you're buying land for agriculture, obviously you're going to want a healthy well, and you got to have water. You got to have water supply, and you know, ideally maybe you buy something with an existing barns and things like that. But you know, the main thing is, you know, there's some things, if you're buying it for agriculture, you could be at a set price and know that you're going to make a certain amount of money off your crops. So you'll have to dial that in for you. But for me, my money is made on on land. The land is the fruit. So you know what I mean? That is the crop. I'm looking to buy my crops under market, meaning my land. I'm looking to buy my land under market so that I can sell it and make a margin. And so, you know, if you're shopping out there, you're going to know before long. You know, the other thing you got to watch out for when you buy ag land sometimes is, I know in California particularly, they got some laws where, I mean, you cannot subdivide at all. You can have 600-acre parcel and not be able to break it down, which there's some information on that I'm going to share with you someday, not tonight. But you know, if you find some large farm property that's been around for a couple hundred years, there are some things to know. Anyways, anybody else? Anybody new watching? If you're new, please subscribe. Hit subscribe. Also, be sure to know that I'm making an app that I'm going to give away to my subscribers. And so be sure to hit notifications and hit subscribe. And also, you guys, I appreciate it if you go like my videos. That helps me, raises my SEO with YouTube, and more people will see us. And I like it because the more questions we get, you're going to get more of my history. You're going to get more of my experience because people ask more questions, and it jars memories. It reminds me of things that I've almost completely forgotten about, you know. And I'm pretty darn good with numbers and stuff, but I'm getting old too, you know. And I guarantee you, when I reflect back on something, if I don't remember the exact numbers, I usually tell you. I say about this or about that. You know, sometimes even I might be guessing a little bit, but it's the experience is real. You know, it's all real. It's all real. Okay. There's a chance to buy 10 acres for $9,000. I have no idea what I would do it though. It is just land. Yeah, well, man, engineer, you know what I mean? There's no bad land. There's just bad prices, you know. There's all kinds of property that's not developable, doesn't have water, doesn't have utilities, but it still has value. You know, you have to know what the 10 acres next to it's worth, or what 10 acres sold for next door to it or nearby. And make sure it's, you know, it's of like kind, meaning very much the same. And because that's it, you know, believe me, there is land out in the outskirts of California. I used to buy and sell land that probably will never be developed. I mean, I'll be dead and there'll never be anything built on it. That's how far out it is. You know, just think about when you fly in an airplane. You looked out that window and you're just looking at nothing but land. And hardly any houses, if any houses. There's a lot of land. I don't care what state you're in. There's a lot of vacant land. So, and it all has value, and there's buyers for all of it, but there's a limit. People, you know, you have to buy it right. You have to buy it under market. And so the way you get your education is find out what market is, and then just, you know, buy it below market so you can make your margin. And of course, getting great terms is important. Always try to get the best terms you can. Owner finance is always ideal. You know, when you have owner finance terms, and especially, you know, if there's no alienation clause, and if you don't know what that means that if you don't put if there isn't an alienation clause in the note, meaning, you know, I'm going to buy this property and I put 10 grand and they carry the note for 90,000. Well, if they might put an alienation clause saying that this note is non-transferable unless approved by the holder. But if they don't put that in there, guess what? It's approved. It can be assumed. They can assume it. You can resell it, and somebody else can assume the note. It has to be specific in there that it is not assumable. Otherwise, it can be assumed. And if somebody ever, you know, and I've had that happen, people say, well, we don't want to. You know, we're carrying it for you, Tom. We know you're good for it, but we don't want to carry it for just anybody. I still might accept it. I'll say, okay, you know. So then that just means I got to get their permission. And when I do sell it, if somebody assumes that note, I got to get their permission. And if I feel reasonable, then I'm not going to worry about it. Otherwise, they're just going to have to go get a new loan anyways. So So anyways, just remember that it doesn't matter what kind of property. I like income producing. I like land. I'm looking at everything right now. Man, I come this close to getting a 15-acre piece, and I've been hounding the gal that had it ever since. And I can see why. Man, what a great deal this thing was. What a fantastic deal. And I'm not going to leave her alone until it closes. And then when it closes, I may just go straight to the guy that bought it from her and try to buy it from him. And because maybe he can make a profit, and there's still like, I still believe there's even more room. That's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to wrap it up here, unless you got another question or two. But please share, subscribe, like my videos, like my old videos. If you haven't seen them yet, just go like them. It'll help me. And as far as be sure to write Tom at Flipanythingusa, and you'll get the free gift. But I'm going to call it quits. So thanks for hanging out, and this is the follow-up. This is the follow-up to Teachable Forking Moment. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you can wholesale anywhere. I mean, it might be tough though, but listen, Ali, if you have not watched all my videos, go back to the beginning and start watching them all, because what I have said multiple times, buy near your home. Wherever you live, buy near your home, or wherever you work, buy near your work, and buy in between, because when you drive from home to work and back, you have this area, this little geographical patch that you are most in tune with, that you can look at and you will see every day. And that will give you the advantage of being someone that can be the most educated on values. And believe me, I've done it. Listen, I've flown to Idaho and just immersed myself into the real estate and looking at everything that's going, and I've gotten a great deal in a few days. But that's me, okay? I'm really good at it. I know what I'm looking for, and it's you know, it's hard though. It's hard to do, but I've done it. I've done it for friends to go help somebody get a decent deal. But you know, it costs money to fly. It costs money to sit in a hotel, and you know, it's just. And now you know you might miss people that would be really great to talk to because they're not working. You know, they're not working that day or two that you happen to be in town. So yeah, you know, the deals are everywhere. They're everywhere. There's no reason to leave your area unless you're moving. Move and then do it. Make it your home. There's no reason to go far away. The deals are right where you're sitting. Now, I'm not saying that there might be some little area of interest that maybe is 15, 20 minutes away, as long as you can get there. But I mean, this out of state, that sounds like, you know, you're talking a long ways. You're talking in a whole other state. I wouldn't mess with it. I wouldn't mess with it. Not me. So, I mean, I can a little bit only because I stay out of state here and there, little in Florida, little in California, and you know, little in Texas. And so I know a couple of areas particularly well, but most people don't have that. There's always competition. Listen, flipping houses is nothing new. The term is new, and the you know, of course, with the internet, things, you know, people learn about everything very quickly, fast. But no, flipping houses, nothing new. That's been going on since I've been involved in real estate. People try to, you know, buy and sell for a profit. Buy and sell for a profit. That's how it is. That's what we all do. And not houses. I mean, not just houses. You know, it doesn't matter. Land, huge acreage, farms. Can you wholesale a deal while you're out of town? I don't know. I don't know what wholesale means to you. I mean, I don't know what that means to you. I mean, I understand wholesale to me. That means can I assign a property to somebody else? Can I take a property that I have the right to buy and I can assign it to somebody else? If that's what you mean by wholesale, yes, you can. Absolutely. You absolutely can. So, I mean, listen, on my phones that I carry, I have Adobe whatever, PDF reader. I can digitally sign any PDF document, and I do it all the time. I'll even have somebody, I'll pull up somebody's lease and I'll say, here, let's extend your lease. We make a deal. I change the value, add a little more or whatever. And then they sign it right there. So digitally you can sign and send things over your iPhone. No big deal. Easy to do. So yeah, it doesn't matter, man. Any other questions? Is anybody taking time to look at properties that are selling in your home? Are you calling on properties that are for sale, properties that have sold? You have to do that. You have to do that. Books do I recommend? Look up stuff. Listen, the books and stuff that I read are quite old. They're really not, some of this stuff never changes. Buying and selling under market is easy. That's easy to do. But the technology now is so much different. You can find property online. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can shop right here from your laptop, So the books that I take most inspiration, I like Think and Grow Rich. It's not a real estate book, but it keeps you on the right path of prosperity. As a Man Thinketh, I think that was by David Allen. That's a 200-year-old book. It's just kind of about, basic psychology and what men do. But sometimes it's good for us to hear what we know. If you know what to do, right? Most of us know what we need to do. But it's kind of nice to read that, oh yeah, reinforces, oh yeah, I need to do that. I tell you, get up early, make a list. Get off your ass, start looking at property. Even though you know that, it helps probably to hear it from me, because I tell myself that all the time. I tell myself that all the time. Let's see. So books, yeah. So As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, okay? I met one of my first mentors, and the guy that I really liked when I was younger. I just liked him. That was Dave Delgado. I met him in Napa just for the fires. I just missed the fires. I got some cool pictures of me and Dave, and we had actually some great conversation. We might do some business on something too. But it was kind of neat talking to a mentor, somebody I looked up to, 30 some odd years ago. And I finally got to meet him, and anyhow, it was fun. We had some laughs. It was good. So let's see what else. Chloe, I know you have repurposed a school building, but have you ever purchased and repurposed a church building? Beautiful building near me, vacant. Oh yeah, not a church particularly, but this happens with banks. Sometimes you'll buy a bank, and there'll be a damn vault that you don't need, and you want to get rid of it. And believe me, a vault door, those things are so heavy. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. You can't pick up a vault. We had to get a crane in to lift a vault door to get rid of it. Let's see here. So yeah, don't be afraid of repurposing a church. Church is a beautiful building. The things I'm going to look at is what can I do with it? Can I make it make it an office? Offices, who wouldn't want to have an office? Or, you could do, it's just whatever you can do, a school, a couple of schools that I bought, a classroom is 25 by 30. It's 750 square foot. Kind of an oddball size for an office. But you know what? It works and people fit in them. And I've been really happy with my repurposing of schools. And I have, I've repurposed a couple of schools. And so, yeah, just have at it. No reason not to. Okay, let's see. Billy Ball, I don't know how to help you grow on YouTube, or I would help you out. All right, well, thanks, Billy. I appreciate that. I do. But you know what? Hey, you can help me, everybody. Go like my videos. Like my videos, because that supposedly helps. And of course, if you watch any other, and you see other people, you can always share. Hey, check out Tom on Flipanythingusa. You can just spread the word a little bit, but I appreciate it. And the other thing is make some money. Make some money. That's what I'm here for, to help you make money. And if you make some money, it'll be a great testimonial. And I've already got some testimonials. I'm going to have to find a place to put them. I'm collecting testimonials. You know, if you say a few nice words, that's good. Or if you make some money, that's even better. And you know, if you can attribute me to helping you make it happen. Ali, I do not wholesale properties that much. I buy them and resell them for a profit. I would tell you to watch Ty, Flipman. In fact, he'll probably have a live show about this time tomorrow. I think he does Wednesdays. Or no, maybe he does Thursdays at 7 Central, I think. But you could ask him. Talk to him, ask him. That's Ty at Flipman, or Flip. If you look up Flipman YouTube, you'll find him. Okay, High Road Head. Zillow is so depressing with those crazy high prices for homes. Well, listen, Zillow, in my experience, usually they don't usually have the property listed quite as high as it's worth. It's usually worth more. Don't be depressed. It just means you're going to make a greater margin. When you find one of those properties 30% under market, the bigger the number, the bigger your profit is, right? The bigger your margin's going to be. The money you make anyways. So never be depressed. Never be depressed. That's the good thing about real estate. It's valuable and it goes up and you can get a piece of it. Okay, Billy Ball again. When you started, did you have money to invest, or how did you get started? No, I didn't have any real money. I was started a cabinet shop, and so I was pretty broke. You know, I was just, you know, when you start a business, it's very rough. You know, you're not busy all the time. You're scraping, and but I was having to pay rent for a place anyways, and you go back and watch the earlier videos, man, and you'll know exactly how I started. And you'll know how I did it. Go back. Just go to my videos and go to the oldest ones first. And I think I talk about my first real estate transaction, and you know, 19 years old, and you know, that's all I can tell you. I can't. There's no sense to repeat the video. I'm not gonna make a second video here for that, but it's easy. Just go back there. You'll get motivated. It's all good stuff. I get a kick even reading about my history. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sebastian. Yeah. Ty's a buddy, and he was nice enough to have me on his show, and I always, you know, I think a lot of the guy, and I like him. Cool. Okay, Tony D. Should I have an attorney write up my contract for making offers to sellers in my state? I don't know. Tony, I'd never have anybody write deals for me. I write my own contracts. It's nothing. There's nothing to it. You can buy some existing stuff. Just to talk about contracts, and I'll go ahead and go through this process, I guess, right now. And I'll write it on the back of my contract, okay? This contract is about 20 pages, okay? That is really more about covering people's asses. It's not about you. It's not about the seller and the buyer. It's about the people in between that are, you know, the agent. It's covering other people's asses. It's not for you. I mean, a little bit is, but not all. So all you need to do is take a plain piece of paper, and, you know, you just simply, you know, you can write sale contract, then write price, then write terms, and above that you can write parties to this contract, and write buyer, Tom, seller, Joe, and then the terms, and then you just cover the terms. How much? You know, it's really no different than buying a damn car. You know, when you buy a car, what do? You have to go down to the Department of Motor Vehicles to transfer the title. Well, that's what you know, the title company's for, is to, you know, the escrow office is to transfer the title. You got to go down there, just like to transfer a car. If you bought a car from me, you know, one of us has got to go down there and say, here's our signed deal, make this mine, and then they register it. That's kind of what happens at the you know, at the title company. They're basically like the DMV of houses, okay? So, no, Tony, ultimately, when you make no, I mean, if you go to an attorney every time you're going to make an offer, it's done. You have to be able to do this. I'll take it. Let's write it up. How much? Your name, my name, the amount, the terms, the day that it's going to close. We'll split the fees. Let's sign it. Done. Takes, 5 minutes sometimes. Otherwise, you're going to say, oh, well, okay, well, I will have my lawyer prepare the contract for me. You're going to get in line to see your lawyer. You might see him a couple days later. You got him prepare the contract, and you're going to come back, and you'll be talking to the new owner, and the price is going to be double. So, no, don't, and I'm not making funny. I'm just telling you, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's just simple. Just write up the contract how you agree to it. What you want, what they want, what you would agree together, write it up. There's plenty of standard contracts that you can find on the web that basically cover this. Seller's name, special provisions. That might be like, I bought a house one time and the lady said, the statuary's not included. She had like little statues everywhere in the yard, everywhere. And I was sitting there looking at those statues thinking, God dang, I'm going to need 2 trucks to haul these things to the dump. And she felt like they were works of art. And so I'm like, yes. In fact, let's put in the contract that you have to take the statuaries away because I don't want to have to spend the money or time to haul them away. So yeah. Yeah, and don't forget, you'll have to pay for an attorney too. I hope you guys never need attorneys, but you know what? The more money you have and the more, more things that you encounter, you'll need them someday. And they're not cheap. They're very expensive. One of my, I've had many, and I have got some of the best. But they're not cheap, and it's not fun paying those bills. But I don't have it. Usually there's, just once in a while, somebody does something that I think's not fair, and sometimes you got to get a lawyer to make it fair. Oh yeah, Matt. Yep, that happens. Matt's talking about having a deal go to pot because the people investigated and wanted to see if they could do something with the property, and they found out that the city usually says no, and that's kind of how the city operates. But sorry. Yeah, no, it's going to happen, Matt. It's going to happen. Even this, like I kind of fibbed everybody here the other day. I'm going to come clean with you. My deal, I told you, was in another state. It wasn't. It was in town. I was afraid that maybe somebody watched my video and was watching my deal. And I thought, ooh, but I like sharing with you guys live, so it gets a little bit tough to do sometimes. So anyways, that's what's happening. Yeah. No, man. You'll find out. Believe me, I've taken on neighborhoods. When I say neighborhoods, there might be 30 homes in a neighborhood. There might be 300, but all it takes is 1 or 2 people that are retired and they want to be the sheriff of the neighborhood, and sometimes you got to shut them down and just sue that individual if they get overzealous. But you get these guys that they want to be the sheriff of the neighborhood and be a pain in the ass to guys like you and me that are just trying to buy and maybe make property better to make it more valuable, and some of them are petty and jealous and they don't have your capacity or mine and their vision, and they're scared or they're just they don't know how to make money, and maybe they don't want you to make any. So I don't know. I'm not like that. I'm pretty laid back. I don't want anybody to damage my area, but anyways, everything I touch, I improve. So, anyways, I'm getting tired, and we've been on here about 45 minutes. But I wanted to tell everybody the good news that I pulled that deal back out of the fire, man. That thing was gone, and And you know what? If I hadn't called back, I would have never got it. I would have never got it. He probably would have been embarrassed to come talk to me because, you know, I told him, I said, well, why didn't you have him counter? You know, and I showed him I had the money and ready to go. And then he ends up signing a flake that flaked out, and now I got it. But that stuff happens. There's a lot of flakes in this business. A lot of people tie stuff up that they can't close, or a lot of times they bid too much. And that might happen to you sometime too. You know, you'll go decide to buy something, and then you'll start to look at it closer, and you're going, oh crap, I screwed up. This thing ain't worth what I paid for it. I'm scared. And you'll back out. And that happens, you know, that happens. But it won't happen once you become more just sharper, smarter, a better investor. And but be sure to like and subscribe again. We got quite a few people not watching now. But anybody got a question? Any other questions, man? If you just walked in here or just started watching, please hit the notification buttons and subscribe. We're like family here. Everybody here is just trying to make money. I've been making money my whole life at this, or since 19, and I share it free. I don't sell anything, and so you don't have to worry about me steering you into something that's profiting for myself. I'm just not doing it. So anyways, I guess I'll kill it here, guys. If anybody does think of any questions, you know you're always welcome to in the comments, you know, write down what you'd like to talk about or hear about. And be sure to get my free gift that I'm going to give everybody. Write me at Tom, T-O-M, at Flipanythingusa.com. And we'll, you know, we'll just keep plugging away. And I want to hear about you guys making money. And I like hearing that you guys are trying. I like the questions. That's how you get there, man. You got to ask questions. You know, you got to ask questions, and you know, you're just gonna get there, and you know, you're gonna see something, and you're gonna remember me talking about maybe a similar story. And you know, like I say, you look for, when you're looking at properties, I mean, if the yard's a mess, if the blinds are tore up, if there's a window broken that isn't getting fixed, that means somebody didn't give a crap about that property, and so they'll probably sell it cheap. And then you can, you know, be the hero of the neighborhood when you fix it up. So but I guess I'm going to leave it at that. And oh yeah, I made a little video yesterday. Yeah, I got a bamboo growing like crazy in one of my yards. It's terrible. In fact, I got a note today. Some lady's pissed because she's got bamboo in her yard, and she's blaming me for the bamboo that's in her yard. And so I don't know. I'll talk to her tomorrow. Anyways, so that's it for now. Flip Anything USA. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Always a pleasure. And so share, subscribe, etc. And we'll just keep going at it. So have a good night, guys. Bye.